I'm not saying that all buyers have it. I'm saying if you have a little patience, that soon somebody's going to come along and give you a big wad of money for this beautiful home in this beautiful neighborhood. This house is only 3 years old. And now they have a $50,000 down. They only owe me $345, and I gave them a 2-year term. That 2 years expired in November, and guess what happened? They couldn't do it? Well, sort of. She called me up and she said, Mr. LeGrand, we can't qualify yet, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to forfeit my deposit and move. So what did I do? I said, okay, when will you be out, right? No, I didn't say that. I said, no, you're not going to do that. I won't let you. I'm going to extend your term another year. So make sure you qualify in that another year. I didn't ask him for any more money. I said, okay, sometimes you just do the right thing. No way I'm just going to let him walk away from 50 grand because I can't qualify right now. I would not do that. By the way, would I make more money if I did? I don't know. Who cares? I sleep better if I didn't. So they got another year. What happens if they don't buy at the end of that year? Well, don't tell them this. Okay. Why should I? I could move him out and go get another big deposit, but come on. I'm making $525 a month or $575 a month with all they're in there. They're doing all the repairs, so why don't we just let it be? I made 50 grand up front minus my closing costs. I get $575 a month. I get a little bit on the back end when I cash out, not much. Every year that goes by, the debt goes down. And incidentally, could I raise their price if I extended their option? I did the comps, house worth about $415,000 right now. I just left it alone. So I get another year. Now, what they do in that next year is entirely up to them. I may not be so user-friendly at the end of the third year. So it's up to them. By the way, who is it that has not kept their promise? Them, not me. So if they have to move, they have to move. I've done everything I can to give them plenty of time. That also net me at least $67,000. I bet before it's over, I'll get much more than that out of it. So how do you net $67,000 on a house with only $34,000 worth of equity in it to begin with? Well, remember all that money I collect on rent? I'll never collect that money if I were to just cash out immediately, would I? In case you haven't noticed yet, I got all my equity out of it up front. You know, I actually owe a little bit more than I'm owed. So what's the rush? Let the goose keep laying the golden eggs. So, no money, no credit, no risk, no repairs, no banks, no realtors, no short sales, no costing entanglements, no crowd. We call that the pretty house business. Are there any of those where you live? And if my tenant moves out, what happens to the 50 grand? Goes into Hip National, it's already in Hip National Bank. Okay, but Ron, don't you have to put that money in escrow? No, I did. Went into my bank account. It's the only escrow account you need. Guys, when you collect the upfront deposit, it's your money the day you collect it. You don't ever have to give it back. You have to credit it toward the purchase price. You have to credit it toward the down payment, but you don't ever have to give it back. You don't ever have to bring it to closing. You're not a realtor. You're not holding somebody else's money for them. It's your money. You get it. The day you get it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. Go on vacation, go buy crack, whatever you want to do with it. It doesn't matter, it's your money. By the way, just for the record, you do not have to pay taxes on it in the year you receive them, if you don't want to. Your taxes are due when the house is either sold or defaulted. Until then, it's just a deposit, it's not income. And who does the repairs? You know the answer. Yeah, tenant does 100% of the repairs. I give them 30 days where I'm responsible for the systems. And of course, the seller guarantees the system to me for 30 days. And that's 30 days after occupancy. That's already built into your agreement. The seller's 30-day window starts the day I put a tenant buyer in the house. Tenant buyer's 30-day window starts the day they move in the house. So for that 30-day period, the seller is responsible for any of the systems. You got beautiful houses in beautiful neighborhoods, rarely ever a problem anyway. Now, I'm not changing their drapes. I'm only their systems, plumbing, heating, electrical. Just did this one recently. I took over, now this one I took over subject to. Subject to means the seller deeds me the house and just walks away. Loan stays in the seller's name, they're aware of it, they sign off of it in front of an attorney. They had a $154,000 loan. In this case, this house was inherited. The two children owned it. They lived in two different cities. Parents died. And the house needed every bit of $25,000 worth of repairs. And literally they called me and begged me to buy the house. I don't even know where they got my name. I don't remember. I think some past relationship. They were 2 payments behind at $1,400. Now the home was in the parents' name, the dad's name, so obviously it didn't care about any credit. So this one I just took subject to. And here's a good comparison. The last one, I want to make sure that buyer could go qualify for a loan if they wanted to. I didn't take that one subject to on purpose. This one I just took subject to because there's nobody to care about the loan. The borrower is dead. Understand that? Hello? So I took it subject to. And that means that they just deeded it to me and signed a HUD-1 closing statement and signed the deed and left the attorney's office and went in their merry way. Now, it needed $25,000 worth of work. It was only worth about $2.25 if I fixed it. I simply did not want to put the 25 into it and fix it. There just wasn't enough spread in it to make me want to do that. So I chose to put it on the market as is. It's a work for equity deal, which means tenant buyer does the work with their money, their labor, in exchange for a discounted price. And that's exactly what I did. I sold it as is for $199. They gave me $30,000 down. They owe me $169. I owe out $154. Now, did the tenant buyer get a good deal? Say yes, Ron. $25,000 that I'd have had to spend is maybe $5,000 or $6,000 they'll have to spend. They're doing the work. They wouldn't do the same stuff I would do. They wouldn't put the fancy kitchen counters in there with the underlined sink and do all the things that I would do. Put stainless steel appliances in there and all the stuff that they do. So the repair bill is way lower. Plus, they're doing the labor. And they're probably getting their friends to help them with a lot of that for, a few cases of Budweiser or whatever. So they gave me $30,000 literally. This thing within 2 weeks of putting it out there. Well, actually, that's not true. I put it out there for a month, and it had rotten eaves on it. So what I did was I had somebody go out and take the rotten wood off and put the vinyl eaves around the outside, and spent $1,800 doing that. And within a few days, I had a buyer who was willing to give me $30,000. So remember what I just said. I put it out there for 30 days as is. I did not get any bites. The rotten eaves just scared them away. The minute I changed those eaves, it made the whole house look different, and immediately I had somebody come in with 30 grand. So sometimes I'll take the atrociousness out of the house to make it more appealing to the buyer, and it changes everything. So did I do okay? Yes. I got 30 grand back. I put 1,800 in it, plus I had 2 payments of 1,400 that I made, and some closing costs. So how many of those do you think are out there? Guys, these things are out there by the hundreds, wherever you live. I've done so many of them, they're boring. They're boring. But I get over it. My boredom pays pretty good. You see, that's a low-end house. So there's pretty good money even in those low-end houses, but that's not where my heart is. My heart is in the higher-priced houses. And just so you'll know, where most of you live, your target market is $250,000 to $1.5 million.